Good morning. Today is Wednesday of the Great Easter Octave. And of course, the octave of Easter, beginning with Easter Sunday itself and moving us day by day to the following Sunday, this coming Sunday, which will be Divine Mercy Sunday, is a particularly solemn and joyous time in the life of the Church, because each day of the octave is a day in which we literally celebrate again Easter Sunday. And the Masses for the octave are the only Masses that may be celebrated during these 8 days. If there happens to fall, such as this year, on April 25th, the Feast of St. Mark, that feast day is not celebrated. It's one of the days of the Easter Octave. But let me just speak a little bit more about the octave itself. Now, we get a good understanding of the octave if we are at Mass and listen carefully to the readings which the Church has selected for the Easter Octave. Each of the first readings for the days of the octave come from the Acts of the Apostles. And for instance, Monday of the Easter Octave, having just celebrated Easter Sunday, the great day of the Lord's resurrection from the dead, the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles is part of the account of the first Pentecost Sunday. And then the Gospel, of course, for each day of the Easter Octave is taken from one of the 4 evangelists' accounts of Easter Sunday. And so through the Gospels, we relive Easter Sunday itself. But the first readings, all from the Acts of the Apostles, are presenting to us at the same time that we're still celebrating Easter Sunday, if you will, the powerfully transforming effect of the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, not just on the apostles and those first disciples, but on the new church which he established on the faith of St. Peter and the other apostles. And that's why we listen in the first readings to those readings from the Acts of the Apostles, where the apostles are for the first time preaching the gospel. And as St. Luke, who is the author of the Acts of the Apostles, writes, thousands of people. He doesn't say just thousands of men or thousands of women, but he says thousands of people, which the Church has always understood to mean both adult men and women, younger people, even infants with their parents, were baptized and became the nucleus, if you will, along with the apostles and those other first disciples of the Catholic Church. And quickly, as we will continue to read throughout the entire Easter season with the Acts of the Apostles, they quickly left Jerusalem and went to the 4 corners of the known world, at least the Roman Empire, to preach the gospel. And many, many more people who heard the gospel, confessed their faith, received baptism, and became Christians. But the Easter Octave itself is something that we should spiritually celebrate with the same kind of devotion that we celebrated the weeks of Lent, and especially Holy Week and the Paschal Triduum, because we are literally reliving the greatest day in the history of mankind and literally in the history of our lives, and that is the day Jesus overcame the power of death by suffering death on the cross, and then, as he promised, on the third day he rose from the dead and offered to us not just salvation, but the way to heaven. And so as we continue with the Great Easter Octave and beyond into the Easter season, again, let's not forget what we did during Lent, but let's continue what we did during Lent with that great sense of joy and hope in this Jubilee year of hope, that being faithful to Christ in his church, we have the sure and certain hope of entering heaven at the time we pass from this life to eternity through death. And so may you continue to receive the abundant blessings of the Easter Octave and the Easter season, and may you enjoy our beautiful changing weather.